The film begins with Bella sitting with her boyfriend, Edward. Edward is a vampire, while Bella is just a regular human girl. Edward wants to marry Bella and proposes to her, but Bella is hesitant to marry him because she feels her age is too young. Bella wants Edward to transform her into a vampire like him so they can live an eternal life together. However, Edward refuses to turn her into a vampire until she marries him first. Basically, Bella wants to be turned first, and Edward wants to marry first. Neither of them is able to find a compromise. Afterward, Bella says goodbye to Edward, leaves, and returns to her home. She sits with her father, Charlie, who is currently punishing her, restricting many things, and controlling her curfew. This is contrary to the past because she had previously run away from home without telling him. Charlie tells his daughter that he is uncomfortable with Edward and wants her to stay away from him. Bella, of course, refuses. Her father then suggests that she spend time with their neighbor, Jacob, who is an old friend of Bella's and has a crush on her. Jacob is also a werewolf, but only Bella knows this secret. Bella was forced to distance herself from her friend Jacob because of the feud between him and Edward, since the werewolves hate the vampires, and there are always wars and problems between them. However, in the recent past, a peace treaty was established between the two groups. When Bella learns from her father that Jacob is in a poor emotional state, she decides to go check on him. She spends the whole night trying to call him, but his phone is off, and Bella is not able to reach him. The next day arrives, and Bella goes to spend time with Edward. Edward tells her about mysterious murders and disappearances in a nearby town. He explains to her that if these crimes continue, the Volturi family will have to intervene. The Volturi family are the monarchs of the vampire world, and all vampires obey their commands. They are the ones who set the rules that govern the vampire world. Previously, the Volturi family had been about to execute Edward for a violation, but they pardoned him when they saw Bella's love for him. However, they ordered Edward to bite Bella and turn her into a vampire as soon as possible, or else they would execute them both, because Bella knows all of their secrets. Edward is still refusing to bite Bella, and she has not been transformed yet. If the Volturi family comes to the nearby town and finds out that Bella has not been transformed yet, they will execute them both. Bella then tells Edward that she will hide from sight for a couple of days so the Volturi family does not know that she is still human. She suggests that she and Edward travel to visit her mother in a distant city until things calm down. They both go to the city, and Bella spends time with her mother, as she has missed her greatly because she hasn't seen her in a long time since her father and mother are separated. Bella remains with her mother, telling her about her relationship with Edward and her latest news. Afterward, Edward and Bella both return to the town once again. They find Jacob waiting for them there. They both get out of the car and go to him. Jacob tells Bella that the vampire Victoria has returned once more and is searching for her throughout the whole town. Jacob and his group of werewolves confronted her and chased her, but she escaped in the end. Edward gets angry at Jacob for telling Bella this, because Edward knew she had returned to the town, but did not want to tell Bella to avoid scaring her. Before the two of them can fight, Bella calms them down and tells Jacob to come with her on an errand. Edward refuses to let her go with him, but Bella tells him to trust her. Bella bids him farewell and leaves with Jacob. She goes with Jacob to meet his fellow werewolves and greets all of them. She speaks with Jacob privately and discusses the matter of convincing Edward to bite her and turn her into a vampire. Jacob yells at her, telling her that it is a curse and that she will not be able to endure it, and that it would be better for her to die and decompose than to be transformed into a cursed vampire. Bella gets upset by his words, leaves him, and walks away. When Bella returns home, she finds Edward coming to her house to check on her. When Edward enters the house, he smells the scent of a strange vampire. He starts searching the house and tries to confirm whether there is another vampire in the house, but he is not able to determine exactly who it is. So, Edward takes Bella to his house to discuss the issue of the strange vampire with his family, but none of them can identify the scent. Edward suspects that this poses a danger to Bella and her father. They want to leave one of them in front of Bella's house all the time to protect her. But Bella refuses this and tells them they have 100 more important things to do than her, and that she has someone to protect her, which is Jacob. The next day arrives, and Jacob goes to the house to smell the scent of the strange vampire that is present. He is also unable to identify it. However, he tells Bella that he and his group will try to follow the scent's trail, and he will leave 2 of his group members in front of her house. Edward intervenes at that moment and tells him that they do not need anything from them. As usual, an argument and a fight are about to happen between them, but Bella stops and calms them down and makes them cooperate. Night falls, and the vampires and werewolves are discussing a plan to protect her and her father. The next day arrives, and Edward goes to drop Bella off with Jacob to look after and protect her because he and his family will go hunting. She goes with Jacob, and he takes her to a small gathering with his group of werewolves. She enjoys her time with them greatly and spends a pleasant time among them. The next day arrives, and Bella and Edward go to talk with Edward's family. Edward's father, Carlisle, tells them that he discovered that the vampire who was in Bella's house is named Riley, and that Riley is responsible for all the disappearance cases in the nearby town. This is because he's abducting teenagers and young adults, biting them and turning them into vampires. This is because he is creating an entire army of young vampires, and it looks like he is planning something big, which is why he is creating an army. Carlisle says that Riley looks like a newborn vampire because during the first period, anyone is transformed into a new vampire. They are intensely thirsty for blood. During this period, the vampire is at the peak of his strength and intelligence, and the army will be extremely powerful. That is why Carlisle decides to take his family and confront them before their strength increases, and also before the Volturi family finds out about this army and comes to confront them, and then realizes that Bella is still human. Night falls, and Bella sits with Edward and asks him why he refuses the idea of turning her into a vampire like him. He tells her that he is a vampire and knows the consequences of that well, and that he is already protecting her. Furthermore, he does not want to be selfish and bite her and curse her forever just because he loves her and wants her to stay with him. Bella then tells him that she thought he would not love her when she is a vampire, but he tells her that he will continue to love her no matter what she looks like. The next day arrives, and Bella goes for a walk with Jacob. Jacob confesses to her that he loves her and tries to convince her to remove the idea of transformation from her mind because she loves him but is afraid to admit it. He tells her that she will not need to transform into anything with him, and she will remain human just as she is. He tries to get closer to her against her will, but Bella pushes him and hits him. However, her hand breaks because his body is solid. When Jacob returns her to the house, Edward comes to fight with him and tells him that if he touches her again, he will kill him. Jacob tells him that she loves him, but he doesn't know why she doesn't want to admit it. Before they can hit each other and fight, Charlie comes to separate them, and he is, of course, not understanding anything. Afterward, Edward takes Bella to his house, and he has his father treat her hand because his father is a doctor. The days pass after that, and Bella goes out. Jacob comes and apologizes to her for what happened and gives her a gift so she forgives him. At first, Bella is reluctant to forgive him, but she forgives him in the end and thanks him for the gift. At the same time, Edward's sister, whose name is Alice, who has the ability to see things from afar, can see Riley and his army of vampires. They are preparing to attack them in the town in 4 days. Alice gathers her family and Bella, and Alice tells them about the vision she saw. She tells them that they must prepare for this battle immediately. However, Carlisle tells them that their numbers are small to confront an army of this strength. At this moment, Jacob enters after hearing about the battle against the vampire army. Jacob tells them that he is with them in this battle to protect Bella and kill some vampires. Nothing more. Carlisle agrees to their joining him. He tells them that this army is strong, and they will all need to train together for the battle to understand each other's methods. Indeed, the next day arrives, and Jacob and the rest of his werewolf friends go to join the Cullen family, and they all train together. After they finish training, Bella goes to talk with Edward and asks him to participate with them in this battle because she will be worried when she is away from him, and he will also be worried because she is far from him. Edward then proposes another decision, which is for both of them to stay completely away from the battle instead of them both participating. Bella agrees to this idea. Night falls, and Bella goes to sit with Edward in his house. While everyone who will participate in the battle is training outside, Edward proposes marriage to Bella once again. He gives her an antique-looking but expensive wedding ring. He tells her that this is his mother's ring, which she told him to give to the girl he will love. He vows that he will continue to love her no matter what her form and appearance are, and he will remain loyal to her. This time, Bella agrees, and Edward is overjoyed. The two of them hug each other. At the same time, we see Riley agreeing on an attack plan with the girl who is behind the idea of the army. This girl is the mastermind behind all of this, who is, of course, Victoria, who wants to take revenge on Edward and kill Bella because Edward killed her beloved. At this time, Victoria is deceiving Riley, making him believe that she loves him and that Edward's family are the ones chasing her and want to kill her. She was able to convince him to help her gather an army of vampires to help her in the battle against them. The next day arrives, and Bella and Edward move together to go to a place to hide during the battle. Jacob joins them because he will be the one to take Bella to the place, and Edward will come after them. This is because the scent of werewolves is stronger than the scent of humans and vampires. If the vampires smell Bella's scent, they will leave the battle and go after them. So, Jacob carries her and moves with her, and Edward moves behind them until the three of them reach the summit of a mountain and hide there. When they arrive, Jacob changes his mind about participating in the battle and decides to stay with them as extra protection for Bella. Night falls, and Bella is very cold and is miserable because of the weather, as they are camping on a mountaintop, and the temperature at high altitudes is very low. Edward has nothing he can do because the bodies of vampires are cold, but Jacob intervenes and hugs her because the body temperature of werewolves is high. Jacob stays beside her, warming her. Edward, of course, is angry and jealous, but there is nothing he can do. When Bella falls asleep, Jacob continues to talk with Edward. Jacob tells him that Bella deserves to live a normal human life with him instead of him taking her soul so she can live with him forever, and that she loves him, too. But she doesn't want to admit it and is lying to herself. Edward tells him that they will wait for the right time and will give her freedom of choice so that she can choose between them. The two of them continue talking all night, and their relationship improves a little, and there is hope that they will become friends. The next day arrives, and Bella is talking with Edward about their marriage. Jacob overhears them by chance, and he did not know they were going to get married. Jacob gets very upset and leaves, but Bella goes after him and tells him that she was planning to tell him at the right time. Jacob tells her that he will kill himself in the battle and will relieve her of him. Bella begs him not to do that and confesses to him that she truly loves him, and she is the one who gets closer to him. Jacob confesses his feelings to her, but Jacob says goodbye and leaves to go to the battle. Edward sees all of this. Bella goes to him and tells him that she does love Jacob, but she loves him, Edward, more. Edward tells her that he understands that it is her decision to love the person she sees as suitable for her, and he will let her decide freely. At the same time, the battle begins between Riley's army and the Cullen family and the werewolves. However, Riley and Victoria themselves know Edward and Bella's location and go there. When they arrive, Edward makes Riley understand that Victoria is deceiving him and that she does not love him, but used him to take revenge for her real lover. Riley is somewhat confused, but Victoria manages to control him once again, and she lies to him, telling him that he is her only love. Before Riley can attack Edward and Bella, a werewolf, Jacob's friend, attacks him. This werewolf was hiding and was not showing himself. This werewolf completely finishes off Riley. As for Victoria, she tries to escape, but Edward continues to provoke her and talks about her lover whom he killed with his own hands and finished off. Victoria gets very angry and returns to Edward and attacks him. After a long fight between them, Victoria is about to kill Edward, but Bella cuts herself in the last second. Victoria gets distracted by Bella's blood, so Edward manages to finish her off easily. Edward then takes Bella, and they go to join the rest of them on the battlefield. At this point, the Cullen family and the werewolves have managed to finish off the entire army. However, suddenly, a vampire from the army who has not died yet appears and attacks Jacob, inflicting a severe injury on him. The rest of the werewolves jump on this vampire and finish him off. But when Jacob returns to his human form, half of the bones on the right side of his body are broken, and his condition is very serious. All of his werewolf friends come to take him to treat him in their own way as quickly as possible. At this moment, 4 monarchs from the Volturi family, who are the kings of the vampire world, enter the battlefield. They have come to understand what happened. Carlyle tells them everything from the beginning. The monarchs notice that Bella is still human. Bella tells them that they have already set the date when she will be transformed, and it is considered only a matter of time. They agree to wait for that period and see what will happen. Afterward, Bella goes to visit Jacob and check on him at his house. Carlisle is the one treating him himself. Bella goes in to sit with Jacob and tells him that she loves him, but she has made the decision that she will continue with Edward. Because even if Edward is not the right choice for her, she feels that she loves him more and will be more comfortable with him. She truly wants to live with him forever. Although Jacob is very sad, he gets over it and accepts the situation. He tells her to live her life as she wishes and enjoy herself as she likes, and he will continue to love her. Bella says goodbye and leaves. After a while, we see Bella sitting with Edward in the place where they always sit together. They are agreeing on the arrangements for their wedding. Edward interrupts her and asks if she is truly sure that she wants to marry him. Bella tells him that she has always felt a lack of harmony with her world, and whenever she is next to him and with him in his world, she feels like she is being herself. She tells him that she does belong to his world in one way or another. Edward stands up and puts the wedding ring on her finger. They decide to go tell Charlie the news that they will get married. The third part of the saga ends. Thank you for watching.